Today's video is part of a special collab and there are 2 giveaways. Keep watching for all the details. But first, I've got a super huge 11 pounds worth of stuff from Plaid that I'm going to open. And I've already, as you can see, I've taken off all my labels and I've taken off my tape. But I haven't dove into it, so I'm not real sure what all I have in here. Look at all the goodies. Alright, so since this box is huge, let's start with the paint. I've got Home Decor chalk paint in Spanish moss, Home Decor chalk paint in sheepskin, Grotto Home Decor chalk paint. What is this? Cascade. Nautical. More of the White Adirondack. I have Oatmeal. Are these the Christmas colors? I don't know. Castle. Alright, oh, and the Vintage Victorian Parisian Gray. So these are nice. Okay, so next I've got, I've been ready for these. The terracotta, but these are, okay, this one is sea stone. This is the cool concrete. This is adobe white, cavern moss, and sea frost, and those are the terracotta collection. I love those paints so much. I've got Villa Green and the Folk Art acrylic. I've got Apple Barrel Outdoor Gloss in Hot Ember. I've got the Outdoor Multi-Surface Paradise Pink. I've got these Delta Ceram Coat. I've got Hunter Green, Mendocino Red, Barn Red, and Christmas Green, which I definitely wanted. And I also have the Glass Etching Cream. I've got one of these wood rounds with bark, which I'm going to do something with. Weaving loom, which is not what I was looking for, but that's okay. I mean, I can try that out. I don't really... I'll figure something out anyway. And the palette round. So that's cool. Make a sign with that. This humongous stencil pack, 46 designs, and it's the seasonal. It says 46 designs, it's 26 pieces. And these are some of the different, what's this, all of them? Yeah. So these are the designs that you get in this set, which will come in handy for the different seasons, for the different holidays. So there's that. And this big old wood plank, live edge. It's got the bark on the 2 sides here. So I know what I'm doing with that. So I have that to work with. So thank you so much to Plaid for hooking me up with these goodies, and let me get some crafting done. DIY number 1. So for this one, I'm going to make a riser, and using some wood beads for the feet, Parisian Gray, Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint, and this wood slice with a bark on the outside. And one of these stencils from this large a holiday stencil pack, and I'm going to use these snowflakes design. but this pack has enough to get me through the whole year. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and poke all this stuff out of the stencil. And this is on like cardstock, so I don't know how often I'll be able to use it. So making a wood stain with Bambi Brown and Brown Velvet, and that is the Delta Ceram coat line from Plaid as well, with a little water, and I'm going to just go ahead and paint over it and then wipe it back off. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it is what it is, and it's not so bad. You know, trial and error, right? So once that's done and dry, then I'm also going to do these feet, the beads that I'm going to use for the feet for the riser, and give them a good coat too. Then I just try and center my stencil as best as I can. And I'm going to use some regular Mod Podge to help with bleeding. Again, this is a paper stencil, so there was no adhesion to the back. So this is just my way of trying to help minimize any bleeding that could occur whenever I use the paint. And I'm using that, like I said, that Parisian gray. And I'm just using a stencil brush that I got from Plaid, with, you know, using a stippling motion over the stencil. Let's see if it works out okay. Stenciling and I are not on good terms usually, so when I can get a good stencil, I'm very excited. I think this one turned out okay though. You know, it's kind of a rustic thing anyway, so if there are little bits that aren't quite right, it's okay. And I guess I did okay getting it centered. And I go ahead and coat the whole thing with a layer of Mod Podge to seal that paint in. And then I just hot glue the feet to the bottom. And this is a good winter decor piece. You could keep it up for your entire winter season, be it, you know, if it's October to February or March, or if it's, you know, 3 weeks in December like it is here in Texas. Except for last year. Last year was bad. Hopefully this year will not be. But yeah, it was just an easy decor piece to craft, and you know, it's super cute. DIY number 2. Now here I'm going to try this glass etching cream that I got from Plaid. It's Folk Art, and I've never used etching cream before, so this is intimidating. And it's just a $1 wine glass that I picked up at Family Dollar. And going through the instructions, it just says to, you know, wear gloves. It takes 15 minutes. You know, you put a generous amount on, and then you wash it off when you're done. And it's pretty easy to use. So go ahead and get that out of the package. And work on a stencil. But first I want to go ahead and clean it up good, and I'm just using some nail polish remover to clean it up, and with my Cricut cutting out a design that I made. Just something simple. It just says holiday cheer with a little holly plant. Holly berry with a leaf, you know what I mean? So I'm just using some permanent vinyl for this to stencil it on. I had issues with my stencil vinyl, so I just used a scrap piece that I already had cut. So I went ahead and I've got that applied where I want it, and I'm going to use this masking tape over to make sure I don't leak out anywhere. Using pool noodle cut in half to hold it, you know, hold it in place so it doesn't roll around. And making sure I have my gloves on, and this stuff is very weird. It's like jelly. I wasn't expecting it to look like this, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. So just applying a good amount, you know, just kind of dabbing it on there, and it says let it sit for 15 minutes. I was already concerned about the color of it because I expected it to be like white, so I wasn't even sure if it was any good. So I think I ended up letting it sit for like almost 20 minutes. And And as you can see, I you know, wanted to make sure I had a nice generous amount on there so it would work. And this is my first time doing it, so I wasn't even sure what to expect. You know, but I wanted to make sure I scraped it back in there, and then from there, it's like, let's say, what's it say? How to, you know, how to clean it. So I just washed it with soap and water. And that seemed to work out perfectly fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and take all my vinyl off and see how it looks. Maybe I should have used a different vinyl. But look at that. So pretty. I know what I'm doing for Christmas this year. DIY number 3. Next up is, you guessed it, a bead garland. I'm going to do 2 different ones, 2 different color schemes, and why not? So I'm going to use the White Adirondack from Folk Art Chalk Paint, and the Parisian Gray, and Cascade, also the Folk Art Chalk Paint. And those will be the next ones, but like I said, I am going to do 2 of these. So I'm going to sort my beads out and get those ready. Now I've got my sets of beads here, different sizes, so I can, you know, mix it up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and get these painted. So to paint these beads, I'm going to use a plastic bag, and for the spacer beads, I'm using the White Adirondack chalk paint, and I'm using it on the smallest of the round beads. As you can see, there are 2 different sizes here. So those little ones are going to be the spacer beads, and they're going to be white for both strands, or both garlands. Now for the other round beads, on one I'm going to use the Folk Art Chalk Paint in Cascade. It's really pretty blue. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And then I'm going to, for the red, I'm going to use the Barn Red for the other small, and that's Christmas Green for the larger shaped beads, and Parisian Gray for the other ones. So I've got a red and green and white, and then I've got blue and gray and white. So I've got them all painted, and I've cut out 2 shapes. I did snowflake for the blue one and a gnome for the red and green one, using my soda boxes, and I'm going to paint those both with the White Adirondack as well, and get these strung together, and just a little bit of hot glue on the end of my twine to get those beads all threaded through. Got holes in my tags so I can thread that string through. It's actually not twine, it's stuff that I got from BB Crafts a while back, but that's what I'm using for these. So I can go ahead and thread that in and tie it up, and I thread it back up through a few beads just to, I don't know, give it a little extra security. Just to make sure that it doesn't, you know, slip apart or whatever. But I thought this worked out really well. So I'm going to use some white macrame cord to make tassels. I'm not going to show all of that. We've seen it 1,000 times probably, right? But I am going to use that little weaving loom set that they sent to me. I was trying to get a tassel maker, but that's what they sent, so I'm going to try it. I'm just going to loop it around this this loom part and just go round and around and around. I just wrap it around many times, and then go ahead and tie it off in the middle with the excess, you know, string that I have there. I'm just trying to get it close to that bottom bead. And I'm sorry, I was off camera. I just, you know, tying it together in the center there, and then I'll go ahead and cut it apart from the loom and wrap the tassel part like you do. Now on my little gnome guy, I gave him some of the folk art wax in antique, and it had, you know, decorations or whatever as an SVG file. So I'm just going to go ahead and give him his clothes and his beard. Instead of painting in, I'm just using some permanent vinyl that I cut out on my Cricut. And I'm going to go ahead and layer those on my little guy there. I wanted the tag to look like wood because, well, I don't have a wood gnome tag for a garland, so I made one. And by painting it white first and then adding the antiquing wax to it, it gives it a wood look. You got brush strokes and it looks like green. I love it. So just applying the vinyl there. I can't remember where I got the SVG files from. If I can find it, I'll leave a link for it. Probably Creative Fabrica. So yeah, I just want to make sure I get the vinyls on. Miss this little foot there. Oops. But this was a really fun little addition to a garland, I think. I don't see these very often. Fix his nose there was crooked. And make sure that I get him tied on there nice and sturdy. Give myself a little fit there. But once I get it tied and secured, and I feed that back up through the last bottom beads as well to give it a little extra security when it fits. I think I just gave up at that point. Now I'm making the tassel out of this green twine, and this was found at the Dollar General in the gardening section. So you could, like, you know, tie your tomato plants up or whatever. So I'm just making my my tassel out of that and make it about that long. And again, no need to see that, but there they are, and they are adorable. I'm keeping the one with the snowflake, but the gnome one is for something special that you'll hear about here in just a little bit. This video is part of the Plaid collab. All of us are Plaid ambassadors, and we love using Plaid Crafts products. Things like Mod Podge and Waverly Chalk Paint, Apple Barrel, those are all Plaid Crafts products. So we've got a playlist chock full of Plaid products. The link is in the description box below. And there's also a giveaway. This one is for Plaid products. Easy rules to enter. Just make sure to watch, like each video in the playlist. And we're all going to feature one Plaid product. I think you'll figure it out, but I'll drop the words later. Make sure you comment each person's word. And the drawing will be done on November 26th. So check our community tabs for the announcement of the winner. Stick around to the end to hear more about the special giveaway I'm hosting. DIY number 4. I've got these little Christmas gifts that I guess you would clip on your tree. I don't know. They have little springs attached, so I'm guessing they're supposed to go on your tree branches. But I'm going to change them up to put in the tiered basket. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all the stuff off of these, the springs, the ribbons, and all that jazz. Now I've got them all cleaned up. I'm going to take the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in White Adirondack and give these guys a couple of good coats of the white paint. So with this red and black buffalo check ribbon that was found at the Dollar General, I'm going to take a piece of this. I'm going to cut it in half so I can make a couple of bows for the top. Since it's super thick in comparison to the little boxes, I'm just gonna cut it in half and make a couple of little bows, just using some wire to twist it together, and they end up being pretty much the perfect size for these little gift boxes. Now this ribbon that I'm using to wrap around them is actually flannel. Yeah, and it was $3 at the Dollar General, and it's so soft, and it's really like actual flannel. I was so surprised. I mean, this is just, you know, your standard ribbon. You know, it's wired and it's, you know, got that smooth finish, but this stuff is super soft. But for the bows, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little burlap bow things that have these, you know, tiny little pine cones and holly berries and pine sprigs, I guess. And I'm going to use both pieces, but I'm going to change them up a little bit. I'm going to take them apart and I'm going to attach the red and black bow part to the burlap bow part, and then I'll glue the little pine cone bit back there in the center just to layer it together to go on the top of the box. So I just wired the two bows together. Actually, no, I tied them with jute twine, that's right. And I'm just, you know, hot gluing these little centerpieces back in. And those will be done, and I can just glue those to the top when I'm done with it. And those are pretty cute. I think so. Now the next part, you see the strips there of ribbon. What I did was I took one of those flannel, I took a bit of that flannel and I cut it down into strips. And I'm just going to wrap those around, hot gluing as I go. I do actually end up folding them in half. I mean, I could have cut thinner, but I just didn't think of it at the time. So I actually just fold them in half and I'm going to wrap them around and just glue them down. And once I have the little ribbon strips glued down, just cleaning off some of the spider webs, I'm just taking a holly leaf from some of my random stuff and gluing in there and then gluing the bow on top. Now I'm just going to take some of the holly berries that I got from my massive thrift haul. I'll link that in the cards above if you want to check that out, all the stuff that I got. But I'm going to take some of these holly berries and I'm just going to kind of cut them down just to add some more. You know, I don't know if it was too much. I don't know if it's not enough. All I know is I like it. So I just kind of wrapped that around there and glue down the bows just to give it a little extra color, a little extra flair. Again, you know, these are just sitting in the tier tray, or tier basket. I think that's cute, and that's what they look like finished. I also stuck some little gold ones in there to give it a little splash of shine. So yeah. Here are some more things that I made using some Plaid Crafts products included in the following clips. I made over this little house. I'm gonna strip it bare and go ahead and just change it up a little bit. You know, once I clean it all off, get all the stickers, get the paper, this little broken roof that it had, get that all taken off. And then I can go ahead and give it a good coat of the White Adirondack and the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint, which I used throughout this whole video. And then I went ahead and made a different vinyl to put on there. It just says Merry and Bright. The nice green, just to give some extra color. We have red and black. You know, buffalo check, so I thought the green would also look really good with this stuff. So I just apply that to the house, and you know, I could have left it like that, but I decided I wanted to fix the roof, so I took some scrap wood that I had, used the Folk Art Home Decor wax in antique, stained it, and I just hot glue the little roof on. And yeah, that was pretty simple. It wasn't really a hard thing to do, but I think it gave it a new life and it looks super cute. I'm also doing some wood slice coasters inspired by Natalie from Design by the Nines. She did something similar in her channel, and this is my take using that same White Adirondack chalk paint. I'm going to paint the centers and leave the edges of the wood there unpainted, and then just using vinyls, a design that she had created and made available for us to use. So that's what I'm doing here. And if some of these crafts look familiar, it's because I was a participant in the Heidi Sonbold DIY challenge on the 5th. I will link that also in the cards if you want to check out a little more in depth of these. And I did coat these with dishwasher safe Mod Podge, so you're safe to use them with your cups. For this craft, I just took one of these MDF signs. This one says Home Sweet Home. I had another one that says Follow Your Dreams. And I just went ahead and deconstructed it. And then after marking out equal sections, then just cutting on my scroll saw into 4 equal blocks. Now I'm just going to go ahead and paint them with the White Adirondack Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint. And once those are dry, I'm going to apply some permanent vinyl. I used my Cricut and cut out some song title to fit on here. I just use a skinny font and just something cute. I have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Fit on the 4 blocks perfectly that way. Something cute and easy for the tier tray. A mini book stack. Was much easier to make one than try and find tiny little books, so I thought it turned out pretty cute. So there they are. And the last thing to do is just tie a cute little black and white buffalo check ribbon around them to hold them all together. This piece, along with some of the others, are shown in my giveaway. And here's that information. Hey guys, Tiffany here, Broke Girl Aesthetic, and I am so excited. I am closing in on 1,000 subscribers. That has been my goal for 2021. And I wanted to show my appreciation to my subscribers with a giveaway. Open to my US subscribers, you could get this gorgeous tiered basket from Drew and Jonathan Scott Living, some of my recent Christmas DIYs, and some other Christmas decor I've picked up along the way. It's super simple to enter. Comment your favorite Christmas song below in the comments. I'll choose a random winner and announce it on my community tab on the 26th of November this year, 2021. And again, this is for my subscribers, so if you haven't already, go ahead and do that. So these are all the things I made with Plaid Crafts products. I love each and every one of them. And the last ones that I show here are included in my personal giveaway. Don't forget, this is for my subscribers. And if you're interested in winning for the Plaid giveaway, don't forget to comment on this video and on everybody else's videos the words that they tell you. And for my personal giveaway, it's your favorite Christmas song. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, y'all. Bye.